Hi, my name is Don Jessup. I'm the owner of Silicon Valley Associates in San Jose, California. We're a residential real estate company, and this is our weekly show, and thank you for being with us. I wanted to go over a couple things today. One, the market continues to be hot, and it continues to be good for sellers, but we're seeing a slight change in the market today. And that change in the market is buyers' reluctance to move forward just a little bit. Instead of getting 18, 20 offers, we've been seeing 5 or 6 offers. And we're seeing the market change just a little bit as inventory grows. So as a seller, you may need to be a little bit more competitive. But one of the questions we had from our viewers this week is, do I have to fix everything in my house? Do I really have to make it look that pretty? And I wanted to go over a little bit of what you should be doing when you're looking at selling your home. And when you're looking at selling your home, it all starts from across the street. First thing you ought to do is you ought to walk across the street and take a look at your home, and what do you see? You know, what does the landscaping look like? What does my roof look like? What does the gutters look like? What does the property look like across the street when I'm driving by this property? Because the very first thing we need to do is invite people onto the property. And if you need to get a gardener out there and you need to brush up or plant things or put sod in or whatever it is, the very first impression of your house is what gets people in the front door. And then the next thing we should do is walk up to the house. We should walk up to the front door and see what we see. What does the entryway look like? Does it have cobwebs? Does the light work? Do you have a fresh look to the door? Do I need to spend $250 on a front door to make it look pretty? Go down to Home Depot and do that. The answer is probably yes, because that's the first impression. If you don't get them to the front door, then they won't walk through the front door. And then you walk through your house room by room. What do I see when I get into the front door? Does it open up to the living room or the family room or the kitchen, or is there a hallway? And how does that look? Do I need new tile? Do I need new paint? Do I need something to freshen it up? And I'm not asking people to spend lots and lots and lots and lots of money, but do I need to take pieces of furniture out of the house? Do I need to stage it? Do I need to take pictures down? Do I need to fill the holes in the wall? And then I go out to the backyard, and this is where it culminates. So you get to the backyard, and is it inviting? Is it something that I can spend the afternoon in? Can I barbecue in it? What's the grass look like? What's the trees look like? Do they need to be trimmed? Do you need a fresh coat of paint on the back of the house or the front of the house or whatever that looks like? And then you go into your garage and your side yards, and is it overgrown when you're looking down the side yard, or is it crisp and clean and you can walk down without having to bump into things, and being presentable. And the question that people have is, will that really get me more money? And the answer is yes, it will. And it'll get you a lot more money. You walk into the kitchen, and are the sinks fresh, or the faucets leaking? Is there junk all over the countertops? You know, does it look clean all the way through? And it's important because women buy houses, not men. And they're going to look at the kitchen, then they're going to look at the bathrooms, and they're going to look at the master, and then they're going to look at the rest of the house. Because if you can't have a good, clean kitchen, good, clean bathrooms, it's not going to show well. And so one of the things you really want to look at is my house neutrally ready to buy? Do I have a bunch of family pictures up on the walls that I should take down? Do I have a bunch of religious art that I should be taking down? Do I have a bunch of things that will focus a certain kind of buyer to my house? Or does my house say anybody can buy this house? Is it neutral enough that anybody that walks in, they're going to feel comfortable? And one of the things that you need to do is to get that neutrality, because the neutrality will appeal to more and more and more people. And generally, if you want to err on the side of better, less is better. Because the more clutter that we have, the more pictures that we have, the more things that we have in the home, the smaller it looks. We want it to look open and inviting and airy. So if you're looking at selling a house, and that's just a 2 or 3 minute version of what you ought to be doing, you ought to sit down with a realtor, you ought to sit down with a stager, you ought to go through your house and go through it as if you were the buyer. Go out to a new open house, go out to a brand new track and look at the way they stage that home. And if your house doesn't look like that, you probably haven't done enough. And so getting your house ready for sale is super, super important. Thank you so much for that. We look forward to seeing you next week. Again, this is Don Jessup with Silicon Valley Associates. I hope you have a great day.